Yeah, so I hit rock bottom in life really young, which ended up being a blessing, but it was hard. So I just, the Lord pursued me in like middle school. And I was like some girl from a little Lutheran church with like 100 people, but I went to this middle school event and I knew that God was calling my name. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. I mean, but I'm not sure about that. I really wanted the things of the world, right? I wanted to be a popular girl. I wanted to want boys to like me. I want all those things. None of that was happening, but I wanted that, And by the time I was like 15, almost 16, that summer, literally, I have journals where I say, God, would you just leave me alone? I would like to just live my life, and can I please sin and not feel bad about it? Because I was never a person who could enjoy sin because I knew that I was created for more. And so it wasn't even enjoyable, but I still tried to pursue my own means. And then in a matter of a whole summer, all the things that I'd kind of put my hope in let me down hard and fast, went through some difficult things. And then on my 16th birthday, my cousin, who was like my older brother, committed suicide. And at that point, and actually in a matter of 14 months, he was the second cousin, one on each side of the family, who had committed suicide. And there was grief and there was guilt. His sister, who was my best friend, called me 2 days before and was like, can you just pray for him? Something's wrong. And I was dismissed it because I wasn't serving the Lord. And I was like, it's going to be fine. He'll be fine. And I didn't tell anyone. I didn't do anything. And so learning how to cope with that. And I just knew, I had a lot of choices to make at that point. And I was like, well, I'm on the same path that he was on, and that's where it took him. And I don't want to be on that path. And all of a sudden, all these things that I thought mattered in my life didn't matter anymore. And so I was like, I'm just going to go on this retreat knowing that I'm going to give God a chance. And Jeremiah 29, everyone shares Jeremiah 29:11, but if you go into Jeremiah 29:13, he says, if you seek me with your whole heart, it is then that you find me. And so I said, okay, God, I've given you a quarter over here and a quarter over there, but I'm laid bare and open. I don't have anything left. I've tried it. I've tried to do it my way, and I've come up empty. And so I'm kind of one of those girls that's like, if we're going to do it, we're going to go all in. So I kind of realized the world was pretty shallow, and so I could probably actually go back to all of that at any time. But what would it look like to go all in for God? And so I did. I went home and I broke up with my boyfriend and I started carrying my Bible around and I changed my music and I spent Friday nights in the sanctuary at the church instead of with people because I knew I couldn't go to the parties yet. I couldn't do that. And he just took hold of my heart. And it was really hard to convince my parents that I didn't want to go to college, but I had done campus ministry. I walked into this back door, tiny little room where these 12 people that love the Lord, but were clearly embarrassed about it, were back there. And I was like, you guys, I don't, what is this? We're supposed to be so excited to love God. Why are we not proud of this? And by the time, I think it was a year and a half later, I graduated, and there was about 350 kids in the campus club, and we would meet in the lunchroom, and everybody had to walk by us, and it was just something God really literally called me to lunch table love. He told me senior year, go sit at these other lunch tables just to love people. And I fell in love with this idea of ministry. I was like, how can I go do anything else? Where can I go just to love people? And I found this kind of a leadership college program. It was a gap year program, and I was able to do missions, and I was able to, go kind of serve. And that's where it was probably a couple years in. I still had codependency and some relational issues. I just switched from non-Christian guys to Christian guys. And definitely. And I felt I guess I needed that to be complete, And how many of you, you go through something and you don't even realize it, but you unconsciously make an inner vow. You don't realize till later how it shows up in your life. And so I was 5 years later, I had a broken heart freshman year, Matt Beachy, oh gosh, So my first real boyfriend, and I was finally we were in this small town area where 4 middle schools formed into one high school. So you kind of got to start over, right? So no one noticed you in middle school, it didn't matter. In high school, there's a whole new crew, right? So I dated this boy, he told me he loved me. I was yes, but I was a moral person. And I was on church retreat and he cheated on me with some girl. And I just walked away somehow with that jaded realization of like, oh, this is how relationships work. I got it. And from now on, I'm going to make sure that I'm not the one that gets hurt. So I'm going to be in control and in charge, right, of every relationship.